results if there's a problem with the results. When I talk about leadership, I don't really mean leadership on the pitch, because you'll have people on the pitch who will lead without saying a single word throughout the game. Toni Kroos, I always look at him and I have no idea what the result is, because the guy just plays the same tempo, the same style. Mesut Ozil, similar case. So, but off the pitch, when it comes to making sure that the group are really strong, supportive of each other, everyone in 2014 said, yes, of course we had a better squad than before. Yes, we had more depth. But the big difference was that we were all much more together. We were supportive of each other. There was a team spirit. There was a sense of, when I'm out, I'm going to support those who are on the pitch and vice versa. And that wasn't necessarily the case in previous tournaments, certainly not in Euro 2012. So when I talk about leadership and the group and all these things, I mean less in terms of doing something, you know, waving your arms around and thumping your chest and all this kind of stuff on the pitch, but actually making sure that the whole 23 work together as a group.
The sort of reaction, Arlo White, I'll go bring you in here, the reaction the other night to the Spain-Portugal game, and wow, what a game, and the shock, not the shock, but just what we had witnessed, reminded me a little bit of what happened 4 years ago with Germany's 7-1 win over Brazil, as in the reaction to it, a completely different kind of game, but just, wow, what have we just witnessed? Of course, Brazil as a national team have been in action many times since then, and also at home since that World Cup. You commentated on them during the 2016 Olympics. So it's important actually probably not to forget that tournament, because when we talk about World Cups we're going to say, oh, I wonder if that is still a hangover. They've played a lot of football since that 7-1 defeat.
I think Rio 2016, Mark, is very relevant here. You know, July the 8th, 2014, Belo Horizonte is a date that will be etched into the memories and the nightmares of Brazilian football fans forever. You know, 5-0 down inside 29 minutes. Nobody on the planet, not least the Germans, could barely believe what they were seeing. 7-1 the final score. Of course, the headline was that Neymar was out, but they were also missing Thiago Silva that night, and that was very significant. So you fast forward to 2 years later in the Rio Olympics, and Brazil, I found out to my shock, both with the women or the men, had never won a football gold medal, but the planets all of a sudden aligned for them. Now, in this country, we don't necessarily take the Olympic football tournament very seriously because of the obvious disagreements between the home FAs, and we rarely put a team out the last time in 2012, so it doesn't really get much traction in the UK. But everywhere else in the world, particularly the teams that have qualified, and I've done a lot of work in the United States, and the Olympics and the football tournament is massive. But Neymar was fit. He was in the side as an overage player. The final, the gold medal match, was at the Maracanã, of course, the spiritual home of Brazilian football. The opponents, incredibly, were Germany. Now, it wasn't the German team that beat them 7-1. It was an under-23 team. There were a couple of second division players in that side. But the game went to penalties, and then who steps up to score the winning penalty into the top corner? It was Neymar, and the place went absolutely crazy. And I'm not suggesting, Mark, that an Olympics gold provides Brazil with full redemption. It wasn't a World Cup after all, and that's really the currency that Brazilian football fans deal in. But I think it did cleanse the Brazilian palette, if you like, of what had happened 2 years before, and it provided something of a clean slate to try and then qualify, as they did brilliantly, with no problems at all, and they go into Russia, you know, with that monkey slightly off their back, I'd suggest.
Ricardo Setti, a Brazilian football journalist, has joined us, come into the studio like some kind of tornado, and had a bottle of water all ready to cool down. It is boiling here. Are you going to win the World Cup?
Good evening, good morning to everyone. Who said Russia has no warmth? We are summer. I've been here in the winter when the drought took place, and there were 3 hours of daylight. And now seeing this, it's amazing, but above all to see how Bangladesh decided that they will support Brazil, and this is very important for us. The morning news of Brazil is that the only problem, the only obstacle we are facing is the emotional. The emotional structure of Brazilians, unfortunately, can be seen, for who likes sports these days, in the League of Nations of volleyball. Sorry, but it's
That's
me.
all right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Look, I'm 54 and I'm fit. So they are losing 2 matches in a row in the volleyball, and we are one of the 3 top teams in the world in men's volleyball because of the emotion. They lost to Canada, and then they lost to France. It's unexpected. The same thing happens to Brazil every time. The emotion. Who remembers the 7-1? It was not Germany who beat Brazil. With all respect, put in its place, but it was Brazil who completely lost itself. When Brazil played Chile in the World Cup 2014, if you remember, if there is a Chilean player who tattooed the penalty kick that hit the bar, Thiago Silva fell in tears, the captain, crying in a World Cup game. What kind of structure is that? So this is the only problem we are facing, the emotional tension before the game. Just to remind you, 2002 we win the World Cup without being the best team because of the so-called Scolari family. That is exactly what happened. We had the emotional thing taken care by Scolari. He created that second world where we against the outside world, and we can prove that we don't need nobody, and we will make Rivaldo play as the can opener, because the ball, when we didn't know what to do with it, it didn't go to Ronaldo, it went to Rivaldo. Yeah. So I think that Brazil, for the first time in maybe 30 years, has a very balanced team. This is even better than 2006 when we had Ronaldo, Ronaldinho, Kaká, Roberto Carlos, and so many players.
Is it easier to take the emotion out of it when it's not your own World Cup, when you're in a different country? So that actually must help the emotional side of it for Brazil.
It added, but I repeat, the 7-1 was a complete failure of the defense. Thiago Silva, who has not played in this match against Germany, the central defense loses themselves. The team doesn't know what to do. I think that right now we have a team that, even if you tell me now Neymar is not 100%, like Tite just said, the coach, it's okay. We are fine. We have Firmino, we have a lot of players playing well, and we survived. Tite, the coach, since he got the team, we didn't lose a single match. Neymar was not there. We are able emotionally to take it. The only problem, Mark, is that no one cares in Brazil. For the first time, I must tell you that we are completely out of this. This morning I got a message from a politician who said, we are sorry, but we won't be supporting Brazil. We have problems with hospitals, with criminality, with corruption. There's nothing going on good in Brazil right now. We had a truck driver strike 3-4 weeks ago. There was no gasoline, no oxygen for hospitals. So they say sorry, but we won't be supporting a football game, which is absurd once the team is as sharp as a Japanese knife of the TV commercials. The team is balanced, the team is calm, the team is relaxed. Neymar just has a new haircut, looks like my loofah in the bathroom. Something is extremely wrong. I suggest that you pay attention, that in front of us we have a scenario of history being written in front of us, that Brazil has the best team in this World Cup. I think I can say definitely, but in case we win, because it's a World Cup, no one can tell anything, I suspect that there's going to be a politic movement in Brazil. Why not even a revolution before the elections of presidency in November?
One question on the football side, and then one other question. Can Tite do what Scolari did in the family sense?
He already did.
Yeah,
he's already done.
So he's got that emotion.
We had Dunga, who was first concern was fighting the media. We had Dunga, who had traumas when he was a kid. When he relieved the World Cup in 1994 as a captain, the first word he says is, I cannot say it here in BBC, a bad word, yeah? I almost said it. Which is not a good example for kids. So now Tite, the soft-spoken, smart person that handle books at night to players, he go and handle... Scolari did the same. Sun Tzu, The Art of War. Yeah. Under the door at night. I don't know if you heard about it. Now it's Tite giving Michael Jordan piece of the book and other inspirational, kissing players, saying, you know what, boys? Play alone. Do your thing. Make the talent bright. It's your team. It's your time. Don't worry about anyone. You can make it. Which means now we have the Quadrado Mágico, which is the magic square. Yeah? William is now in. You know what's the nickname of William now? The waiter, because he serves the ball. So things are going well. Yeah, things are going smooth. Things are going beautiful. Tite is the most amazing person. Any big Chelsea won the World Cup, Toyota, or whatever, the FIFA Club World Championship, we beat the English with Corinthians.
And the other quick question is, to know the English word loofah is remarkable. So what's the Portuguese for loofah?
Bucha.
Buscher.
Buscher.
Do you know what the German for loofah is?
I don't know what a
Krankenhaus.
loofah is.
It's like a sort of yes, it's like a like a rough sponge, really. Yeah.
Waschlappen.
Waschlappen.
Ich wolle einen Waschlappen mit Neymar, ja?
And on the back of Waschlappen, let's head to our football correspondent, John Murray. Afternoon, John.
Good afternoon, how are you?
You learn something every day, don't you?
You certainly do. And it's very nice to hear Ricardo on again. I haven't heard him for ages.
Where are you, John?
We're on a bed. Me and Chris are on a bed together, Chris Waddle, and we are looking out of the window at Volgograd.
Mark, that they can say that they're in a bed together and I cannot say? Okay.
No, don't say anything else. You can say they're like our own Bert and Ernie. So have you seen England train today?
No, they trained up at their base at near St. Petersburg this morning.
Right.
And they're actually probably in the air now, flying down here. And they're going to hold, Gareth Southgate and Harry Kane are going to hold their, as FIFA call it, match day -1 press conference in the stadium here, which is right next to the Volga River. It looks fantastic. And then I'm anticipating that they'll have a little walk around at the stadium just to see what it looks like.
OK, let's hear from Fabian Delph, shall we, who yesterday revealed that the players are aware of who's starting.
I do know the team, but he said I'm not allowed to tell you. And the lads are ready to go. The manager chooses the best team to face the opponent. The team that's picked to play, everybody will be behind them. Everybody will have a part to play, whether it's in training or playing in games or being a leader, voicing their opinions, keeping people positive. It's just one of those things. When you're called upon, you're expected to give nothing less than 100%, and that's what everybody will be looking to do.
Other England managers in the past would have kept the starting 11 a bit of a secret until nearer the time, perhaps even the day of the match, to keep everybody on their toes. Do you think it's a good thing that there's more awareness now, and you got a very good idea, you say, of where you stand? Is that a healthy thing, or is there a danger it might leak out? Is that a problem? How do you
No, I don't think it'll leak out. You just tried, but I never leaked it. I think for certain players, they probably would like to know, so they can get themselves prepared. Whether you're selected on the day of the game or the day before, I think it's all the same thing. As long as your mindset's clear, you know what you need to do, you understand the game plan and what your role is, you're pretty clear in what you need to do.
The media seem to have a pretty good idea of the starting 11. You're not among those 11. How do you...
Really?
I'm afraid not. How do you feel about that? I mean, are you disappointed not to be in that?
No, I don't have any disappointment ever, to be honest with you. Quite a positive person. Whenever I'm needed, I'll give nothing less than 100%. It might be on Monday, it might not be.
Chris Waddle, it follows a pattern with Gareth Southgate, doesn't it? That if he's told them already the starting 11 all the way through, he's kind of his reign. He's made the players know where they stand at any given point.
Yeah, I think the players like to know who's playing. You get an idea anyway when they say nobody knows. Previous managers haven't done it that way. You know, you do set pieces a day before, 2 days before, so you've got a rough idea that you're all playing. So, but you'd like to know that. You wouldn't like the manager to come in at an hour before the kick-off and say, right, this is the starting 11. You've got to have an idea, and you can tell in training you've been working together on certain things. So the players know who's playing.
And also, if any...
Mark, I was just going to say, he did say it might have been the day that we were at St George's Park together, it might have been the next day. Gareth Southgate said, for one thing, he would be making sure that the goalkeeper who was going to start this opening match knew well in advance, so they were going to be able to prepare themselves, presumably Jordan Pickford.
But also, I think, Gareth is on record. I mean, he's known his starting 11 for this game for a while.
Yeah, he has, and them two friendlies they had, Costa Rica, and he looked then to have a look at players and give them a run out. He wanted to mix it up. He'll have got a few positives out of the ones where he's probably thought, no, I was never going to start. Maybe they've been pushed forward slightly, but still they won't start. He's had his team in his mind for a while, and if it's not happening, the good thing is there's 3 or 4 players who played well in that second game against Costa Rica, who could go on and do a job.
So what's the plan then over the next 24 hours, John?
Well, we will be off to the stadium this afternoon when they will do their talking. As I say, there will be a little, just a look around there for them. And then Tunisia, likewise, we will be able to speak to them a little bit later on as well. And then, obviously, tomorrow, building up during the day to the match, which kicks off at 7 o'clock tomorrow night. And I think the three areas in terms of the team, you know, it's well documented, isn't it? Whether it's going to be Henderson or Dyer in the central midfield position, and Maguire or Cahill as one of the three central defenders, and whether it's going to be Young or Rose as the left wing back. But you know,
and the assumption is it's Maguire and it's Henderson and it's Young.
Yeah, but it wouldn't be terribly unusual for Gareth Southgate with his team selection to throw the odd surprise.
Would you have a problem if it was Henderson, Maguire and Young, Chris?
No, I think, well, there's different variations. Listen, Rose hasn't played a lot of games this season. I know when he's trying to get fit, he did okay in the last friendly, but I think he'll go Young, and I do think he'll go Maguire, and I do think he'll go Henderson, which a lot of people obviously would prefer Dyer. So that's probably out of the three positions, I would probably say the Henderson Dyer is the most one you're going to talk about.
All right, John Murray and Chris Waddle ahead of England taking on Tunisia tomorrow, and they are in Volgograd already, and it is a 7 o'clock kickoff tomorrow night. You can watch it on BBC One, you can listen to it on 5 Live Sport. Ricardo, thank you very much for joining us. We've had just one before I let you go. We talked after Ronaldo the other night, said, would Messi yesterday have thought, right, now I need to deliver at this World Cup? Will Neymar be thinking that as well?
I thought we were speaking about fat Ronaldo, sorry. Who is around everywhere, he's omnipresent. It's amazing. I think there are many lookalikes. He's going to buy a club in Spain. Valladolid, it seems.
Who is? Ronaldo?
Fat Ronaldo, yeah.
Okay.
So I think Neymar says it in one phrase. I think he says, I am the best player in the world because Messi and Cristiano are from another planet. That's a very cute phrase. I think Neymar is at the doorstep of being a refugee, or how can I say, a hostage of himself. Because the more he appears on the social medias, the more he cuts hair like a witch of Oz, the more he speaks, the more he shows he has 3 private planes and 2 helicopters, the more he goes to Barcelona today, yesterday to Real, or he stays over, or maybe Manchester United, the more people look at him, the more players don't like him outside of Brazil. And every mistake by Neymar is geometrically multiplied, and I think, yes, he knows he has pressure, but at the same time, I must say that Neymar is so cool, so I think he could take it like a breakfast, easy going. Here he's relaxed, he's with his son, I think he's enjoying it, and I think he senses that this could be his time.
Thank you very much for coming in. A whirlwind appearance from Ricardo Setanta, Brazilian football journalist. This is 5 Live Sport on a Sunday afternoon. We will build up to our first game, Costa Rica against Serbia. We'll talk US Open golf, and we have the fallout from England's latest rugby union defeat to South Africa. We'll join our rugby union team out in South Africa after the latest BBC News.
On digital, online, smartphone and tablet. This is BBC 5 Live.
With the 5 Live News, I'm Alison Acton. Theresa May says the NHS in England will get an extra £20 billion a year by 2023 as a 70th birthday present. It means the £114 billion budget will rise by an average of 3.4% annually, but that's still less than the 3.7% the NHS has had since it was formed in 1948. The mother of a 12-year-old boy who has severe epilepsy has joined some MPs in calling for the legalisation of medicinal cannabis. The Home Secretary intervened to allow cannabis oil to be used on Billy Caldwell after doctors said his life was in danger. 3 men have been arrested on suspicion of murdering a man who was found dead in Somerset. Police were called to a property in Radstock in the early hours of yesterday. The victim hasn't been formally identified. And the congregation of a church destroyed by fire have held a service in the neighbouring car park. An investigation is underway into what caused the blaze in a derelict nightclub in Newport, which spread to the 130-year-old Bethel Community Church on Friday.
This is BBC 5 Live on digital, smart speaker, smartphone and tablet.
On the roads, one major problem, the M5 northbound in Somerset. There are 2 lanes closed and heavy traffic due to an overturned caravan between junction 26 for Wellington and 25 for Taunton. Travel time there is around 80 minutes. On the M6 in Lancashire, 1 lane closed, very slow traffic northbound due to an accident between junction 32, that's the Broughton interchange, and 33 for Lancaster South. Also on the M6 southbound, slow traffic and 1 lane blocked due to a broken down vehicle between junction 17 for Sandbach and 16 for Crewe. That's in the roadworks there. On the M1 in Bedfordshire, 2 problems to mention there. Northbound heavy traffic due to an earlier accident between junction 12 for Flitwick and 13. That's for Milton Keynes South. All lanes have reopened there. Southbound on the same stretch, also heavy traffic due to an earlier broken down vehicle between Dunstable and Dunstable South. And on the M3 in Surrey, northbound, 2 lanes closed and queuing traffic due to an accident between junction 3, that's Lightwater, and junction 2, the M25. Alison Acton, 5 Live Travel.
5 Live Sports. The FIFA World Cup Russia.
The whole thing is exciting. This is the opportunity for them to make their name for themselves.
You go into every tournament and every game to try and win it.
If we believe in ourselves, then we can achieve anything.
England face Tunisia. Monday, 7 o'clock kickoff.
Walker's cross to the near post. Kane is there! And England score! Rashford just outside the box. Shoots in!
The FIFA World Cup.
On 5 Live and across the BBC. Live from Russia, this is 5 Live Sport with Mark Chapman.
Costa Rica against Serbia is our first game of the day. It kicks off in 25 minutes' time, and we'll bring it to you in full, of course, with Arlo White and Efan Okoku, our commentary team. But let's switch to the rugby union, because Eddie Jones described England's latest defeat as like a horror movie. It was their 5th in a row in the second test against South Africa in Bloemfontein. And we can join our rugby union reporter, Chris Jones.
OK, so greetings from Bloemfontein Airport, where we're all just picking the bones out of England's defeat by South Africa. They're 2-0 down in the series. Owen Slott's here, the chief rugby correspondent at The Times. So too Chris Foy, correspondent at the Daily Mail. And guys, I really don't know where to start. England's defeat, Eddie Jones afterwards, Ben Young storming out of a TV interview. He apologised and redid the interview, it has to be said, but Joe Marler was having a word with a fan. So too Mike Brown. Mako Vunapola's gone home. I've just seen Billy Vunipola boarding the England plane down to Durban with his arm in a sling. Owen, I really don't know where to start.
Well, we need to get to the beach, don't we? We need to head back to Durban, find the sun again, put a towel down and forget about everything. I mean, it is a mess, and they have to find some way of clinging onto something to make the next Saturday's game worthwhile, winnable. It's a dead rubber, we know that, and it will be, if they win it will be hollowish, empty-ish, but they absolutely have to make something, give them some sort of a launch pad for the future, because at the moment they're just going down.
Chris Foy, can you understand if England supporters are shouting, what on earth has gone on?
Yeah, they're just going round in circles. It's sort of a downward spiral of going round in circles, making the same mistakes in games, pressure coming on, they can't find a way out of it. And it is just like Groundhog Day, you know. And Eddie Jones, it seems, has reached the point where he doesn't have the answers. He doesn't understand quite what is happening to his team. The players don't understand all the things going on around it in terms of the reactions afterwards and the comments, negative comments. It's a sign of pressure and tension. They are being squeezed. They're under pressure. They know there's criticism. They're stacking up defeats, and they don't know how to get out of this mess.
I know. And Eddie Jones, I just think back to the summer of 2016 when we were all down in Australia, where he had the Midas touch. You know, he absolutely ran rings around his opposite number, Michael Checker. His selection, everything seemed to work, and if it didn't work with Luther Burrell in the first test, Taymana Harrison in the third test, he just took them off. His replacements made an impact. It's the opposite now. Has he completely lost his touch here, Eddie Jones?
Well, as you say, there was a time where it seemed like he couldn't do anything wrong, and now we're just wondering, you know, what is actually going to go right? Because I mean, has anything actually gone right? Are we looking at anything going, that was smart, that worked? There's not really a lot out there. You know, people are going to be looking at this team. We're all looking at this team, going, you know, are they good enough? Are the players good enough? But you just have to remember, those were the players. That is roughly the same team that did 3-0 over Australia. It's packed with British Lions who drew a series in New Zealand, and with players who won a Grand Slam. It's packed with Saracens players who were so good at the end of the season. So for me, it's not the players. It's the fact that it's not coming together.
I think the point you make about that 2016 tour is there's very quickly an aura. The Eddie Jones regime had an aura from the start. They took off with the Grand Slam. They went to Australia, talking the talk about what they were going to do there. They were full of confidence, and the players bought into it. The crucial point is he quickly built an aura that the players believed in. I think that's gone, and I think what's happening is that the players don't seem to quite believe it anymore. There's just some fragile, small layer of belief and confidence has gone out of them, and suddenly all those 50-50 situations go the other way, and they're just not quite believing they can get themselves out of a hole.
I don't think this is a fractured camp. This isn't a split camp yet. You know, I think there's still a few more defeats away from that. But as Owen's saying there, Chris Foy, this is about Eddie now having to prove that the bounce he got as the new coach of the England team, that is long gone now. So does he have to change his methods, change his selection, maybe admit he got things wrong in terms of the preparation on this tour, admit he got the selection wrong, admit that he got a lot of things wrong, and say, look, there's a year to go to the World Cup, let's see if we can wipe the slate clean. Because if England don't, then they are going to be miles off the pace come that World Cup.
I think that's the case. I think if you look at the timescale of this, 4 months ago, they'd won their first 2 games of the Six Nations, and they were looking ahead, talking about 3 titles in a row. They were talking about having another pitch at a Grand Slam. There was positivity. The performances weren't perfect. There were gaps in the performances, but they still had that momentum. That has gone, but we're talking about a 4-month window where there's been this sudden collapse. I personally believe he should have some time to sort it out, but things do need to change. The proof of the pudding is they keep saying they're learning lessons and having great preparation for matches. They keep making the same mistakes and keep losing. Therefore, something about the messages and the preparation is not working.
Do you know what I think he could do, Eddie Jones? He needs to replace Paul Gustard. I think he needs to bring in a big hitter who's going to stand up to him. Because at the moment, I don't think Eddie Jones is being challenged, and when he is being challenged, he doesn't like it.
Well, I can't disagree with you at all there, but unfortunately I don't think that's going to happen. People don't stand up to Eddie. He takes an extraordinary personality to stand up to Eddie, maybe like the guy who interviewed him on the side of the pitch last night, Chris. Sorry, I shouldn't have mentioned that. Eddie doesn't like to employ people who will challenge him, I don't think. But you're right, that's what he needs.
And if we agree, Chris, that his job is safe because he's got a lot of credit in the bank, even though that credit, they're kind of eating into those cash savings, aren't they? Have you got any faith and confidence that he can, come the autumn, regenerate this England side? Because they certainly have lost that winning knack.
I think he can, because he's got so much experience, but he's got to be open-minded about where he goes from here in terms of changing up some of the preparation, some of the way he does things in camp, and also some of the personnel he works with. And I agree with Owen. I think it'd be great to go in and get a real hard hitter to work alongside him, but he will probably have real reservations about doing that. He's very much a man who likes to be in charge. It's his camp, it's his regime, it's his setup. But I remember writing after the last World Cup, they should bring in Eddie Jones, said it at the time, so that was a lot of the reaction, that he'd done so well, he deserved to be considered. And I remember saying at the time, bring in Sean Edwards and Rob Baxter with him. I wouldn't mind seeing that ticket now.
And guys, just finally before we catch this flight, if England are still united and the spirit is still good and the messages are still being heard from players to coach and they're just almost there, and if they're close to ending this losing run, if that is the case, then Cape Town's going to show us, isn't it? It's a dead rubber game, but these kind of dead rubbers often can reveal the state of affairs inside a camp. That's the message that will be heard this week. Is, you know, what have you got? What show us your personality, your character as competitors, and they'll dig into that. But you know, we say that the players have been saying stuff like that for last week, the week before. You know, we've heard it, and they said themselves, we're bored of saying it, but they're not doing it. They haven't managed yet. I hope they manage it this coming weekend, because I mean, this is depressing radio and we have to go and watch a thing.
I want to be surprised next weekend. At the moment, I don't think I'm going to be surprised. I think that without the Vunipola brothers, with the sort of the mood in the place and all the recurring problems and the way the Springboks are building so quickly, I can't see, if the Springboks take the game seriously and don't change the team and use it in any way for development, looking ahead to the Rugby Championship, at the moment, as it stands, I can't see England winning that game. And then suddenly they end their season on such a long losing streak and really in a deep hole. At the moment, I can't see them turning it around in the week, but I'd be happy to be surprised about it.
And you never know, Eddie Jones could pick some new faces, a Dan Robson at 9, a Cipriani at 10, and maybe some light could emerge from this tunnel in terms of building the squad depth in defeat or in victory. Owen Slot, Chris Foy, I think we all need to get down to Durban and get a little bit of sun on our faces.
Thanks to Chris Jones. More reaction in the 5 Live Rugby Union weekly podcast tomorrow, so you can go to the 5 Live website or your usual podcast provider for that. Chris mentioned Billy Vunipola with his arm in a sling. He has refractured his arm during that defeat to South Africa. He'll return to London today for further assessment. Maka Vunipola is also returning home for the birth of his child. Ellis Genge has already flown home because of a knee injury picked up in training, and he's been replaced in the squad by Alex Hepburn. The one-day cricket is on 5 Live Sports Extra. It's the Royal London Cup semi-final. Worcestershire are taking on Kent, and Worcestershire 110 for 4, and there are 23 overs left of their innings. Justin Rose is in contention to win a second US Open title. He's one shot off a 4-way tie for the lead going into today's final round. The biggest talking point of the third round, though, involved Phil Mickelson. He incurred a 2-shot penalty after deliberately stopping his ball from rolling off the 13th green, and this is what Mickelson had to say afterwards.
If somebody's offended by that, I apologize to them, but toughen up, because this is not meant that way. It's just simply I just wanted to get on to the next hole, and I didn't see that happening at the time. I'm gladly take my 2 strokes and move on.
Phil Mickelson actually shot 11 over and has dropped to 17 over. We'll have more from our golf team throughout the day on 5 Live Sport. Commentary of the final round of the US Open from 9 tonight on 5 Live. Ian Poulter critical on social media today of the fans and the abuse he got, he said, on every single hole, and also of the way USGA has set up that course for the US Open. Good afternoon. 12:46 in the UK, coming up to 14:46 here in Russia, and we're coming to you live from Red Square. Germany and Brazil both in action later. First game of the day, though, is a 1 o'clock kickoff. Costa Rica against Serbia. Arlo White and Efan Nakoka, your commentary team for this one. Do you think, Efan? I'll talk to you. I've spoken to Arlo already. Afternoon.
Hi Mark, how are you?
I'm very well, thank you. Do you see this as a battle for second place between Costa Rica, Serbia and Switzerland, with Brazil also in this group?
Not necessarily. If we cast our minds back just 4 years, not very long ago, is it? Costa Rica topped their group, overcame England, Uruguay and Italy. So no reason why they can't do it again. Of course, if you get yourself off to a great start, get 3 points in that opening match, and then you start to dream just that little bit bigger than you did maybe before the tournament. On paper, yes, you would say Brazil are the strong favourites, of course, with the quality of players that TJ has at his disposal. But, the battle for second, third and fourth, I think, will be very hot.
Arlo, the interesting thing with Costa Rica, obviously, they were excellent 4 years ago. They got to the quarterfinals. They topped the group that had England, Italy and Uruguay in it. But it's a battle of staying loyal to those players whilst realising that they might be getting towards the end of their careers.
That's one of the problems, I think, Mark, that they face. 5 of the starting 11 today are over 30, and 10 of them are over 28. 10 of the 23-man squad are over 30, all told. So Oscar Ramirez, the coach, it's a dichotomy between loyalty to the guys that got them and had their finest hour getting through to the quarterfinals, only lost on penalties after a 0-0 draw after 120 minutes against the Netherlands, and staying loyal to those guys who provided Costa Rica's finest hour, and perhaps the younger players, Mark, not coming through as much. So this golden generation for Costa Rica do get, it appears, one final run out.
You'd say as well, though, Efan, wouldn't you, there's plenty of experience in this Serbia lineup too.
Yes, there certainly is. Lots of names that will be familiar, to British fans as well. So that's always a comforting thing for a coach, really, to know that you've got guys who've been there before. And of course it is, as well, as Arlo said, when you've had a group of players that's been successful at a World Cup, relatively speaking, for Costa Rica to get out of their group, that was a big thing for them. It's very, very hard, to push those players to one side. In a small footballing nation as well, there's so much pleasure at seeing those guys return again for one last fling, if you like, like that old gunslinger. So, it would take a very, very experienced and very, very tough coach as well to sort of brush those guys aside. And of course, if you don't have the younger players coming through that have the same standard or at least, and then you tend to go with the same. And so let's hope that those guys, those over 28s and over 30s, can produce it just one more time.
BBC Sports Steve Crossman is in Red Square with me. The teams are in the tunnel, so we might have to make this quick, but you always drop me a nugget, whether it's about Iceland or whether it was about Croatia yesterday and the Luka Modric story. What have you got for me today?
I've always got something.
Yeah, have you? Yeah.
Oscar Duarte is an interesting player, central defender for Costa Rica, in that he's actually born in Nicaragua, and Costa Rica and Nicaragua have massive political tension, and his hometown in Nicaragua basically becomes Costa Rican for a day. So if there's anywhere better to watch the World Cup than Russia, it's in his town in Nicaragua.
And when you look at this group, how would you say that it would finally end up?
I think Costa Rica and Serbia both have to go for this, obviously, don't they? Because this is the game that they really have to win, because the other two games in the group, they're going to be second favourites. I'm quite surprised to see Joel Campbell on the bench for Costa Rica. I know he's not a consistent player. If he was a consistent player, Arsenal wouldn't have loaned him out for 6 consecutive seasons. He does still play for them, though, apparently. But he gives them like an X factor. And I know why he's on the bench. He's on the bench because the player who came in for Brian Ruiz when Ruiz was injured, Venegas, has been scoring goals in warm-up games and in qualifying, and you cannot leave Brian Ruiz on the bench even though he's been injured in recent weeks. So it's unlucky for Campbell. I actually think Costa Rica will suffer from not having that pace, that outlet.
Efan, you talk about some of the experience in the Serbian side and with Premier League experience as well. You have Milivojevic and Matic there. You also have in the Serbian midfield Milinkovic-Savic, who it seems to have been linked with most European clubs over the course of the year, the Lazio midfielder.
Yes, good player. He's a big kid. I'm not exactly sure where his best position will be. Let's find out in the next couple of years. I think he's one of those players. I was talking to Ola before, about half an hour ago. So if he was playing in Dutch football right now, was one of their young kids. They play him at full back. They play him at centre forward, left wing, right wing, all over the pitch, just to try and mature him, if you like, and find out exactly where he will really profit and benefit his team and teammates over the years. So I'm not quite sure exactly what type of player he is yet. I saw him playing Europa League football a couple of times this year for Lazio. Was impressed with him, but as with most young kids, inconsistent, drifted in and out of games. Certainly got quality on the ball, that ability to provide that spark, alongside some very, very good players. So looking forward to see him making his World Cup bow, and of course if he shines, that's a big transfer fee we're looking at, or potentially, to some other massive clubs around Europe, might be going closer to 100 million.
Yeah, we're just looking at the formation on paper. He's going to play as a number 10 just behind Mitrovic, and Milinkovic-Savic has got the nickname in Serie A of the Sergeant, which tells you that he's a tough tackler. He fell out with the former coach because, as Efan says, they've played him in different positions. He said to the former coach, "I'm not playing for you if you play me in defensive midfield." So they agreed to play him at number 10, and he scored 12 goals for Lazio this season. Bear in mind, that's more goals than any midfielder has scored for Lazio in a single season. More than Juan Sebastian Veron, more than Pavel Nedved. So he's a goal scorer, but he's fiery too.
Gary Lineker was saying the other day on the World Cup Daily podcast about how so many kids relate to these players because of Football Manager and also FIFA. Milinkovic-Savic, I actually signed for my FIFA team, and when I press the right buttons, he's brilliant. But pressing the right buttons is always a problem for someone of my age.
Yeah, at your age, yeah, I bet it can be difficult.
It's a lot better when my son plays with him than when I play with him. Anyhow, the teams are out of the tunnel. We are ready to go. It is Serbia against Costa Rica, the first of 3 games today. Germany, Mexico and Brazil, Switzerland to come. Let's join our studio-based commentary team of Efan Okoku and Arlo White.
Mark, thank you very much indeed. Samara is the venue for the first game today after that 4-game bonanza yesterday in the World Cup. It's 540 miles southeast of Moscow, 100 miles north of the border with Kazakhstan. It's an hour ahead of Moscow and therefore, of course, 3 hours ahead of us here in the UK, the home of the Soviet-era aerospace industry, would you believe? Let's get the national anthem, starting with Costa Rica. Los Chicos, as they're known in Central America, Costa Rican players proudly belting out their anthem. Serbia qualifying for the World Cup as an independent nation for only the second time. They qualified once as Serbia-Montenegro, and they've actually taken the entire football history, which is a proud one, of Yugoslavia. And here's their anthem. Well, it's a big day for the new manager of Serbia, Mladen Krstajic, appointed in November. It's his first competitive game as a manager. He did play for Serbia at the World Cup in 2006. Slavoljub Muslin, who got them to Russia, was then fired by the Serbian FA for apparently not starting or including enough of the 2015 under-20s side that won the World Cup down in New Zealand. So in came Krstajic, and then all of a sudden 5 members of that under-20 squad made it into the World Cup squad. He also switched the side to a 4-2-3-1, took the captaincy off Branislav Ivanovic and gave it to Alexander Kolarov. But let's start with the Costa Rican side. 6 starters from the friendly defeat at Ellen Road against England, 6 survivors from the 2014 World Cup quarter-final against the Netherlands. Real Madrid's Keylor Navas is in goal. 3 centre-backs, Duarte, Gonzalez and Acosta. There's no Brian Oviedo, relegated to League One with Sunderland this year. He was expected to start, so we think Francisco Calvo is at left wing-back. Marco Urania is the lone striker, with the former Fulham attacker Brian Ruiz now at Sporting Lisbon on the left-hand side. He's the captain of the side. Joel Campbell still on Arsenal's books. He is on the bench. 5 of the starting 11 are over 30 years of age. 10 of them are over 28. It suggests a loyalty to the magnificent achievement and the team that reached that quarter-final in Brazil 2014. As for Serbia, Vladimir Stojkovic is in goal. The back 4 involves 2 recent high-profile Premier League champions. Branislav Ivanovic is expected to start at right back, but he may start at centre-back. We'll have to wait and see. Age 34 now, formerly, of course, of Chelsea. Alexander Kolarov is the captain, former Manchester City player on the left-hand side of the defence. It's an all-Premier League central midfield duo of Nemanja Matic and Palace's top scorer Luka Milivojevic. Dusan Tadic out on the left, Adam Laic is on the right, and then look out for Sergej Milinkovic-Savic, SMS, highly rated Lazio attacking midfielder, who Luciano Moggi at Juventus has already suggested that the Turin side, the old lady of Italian football, have agreed a fee with Lazio for Milinkovic-Savic. Manchester United said to be interested, and Real Madrid may also have something to say before next season. And he's in behind Alexander Mitrovic, who of course helped Fulham to promotion in the Premier League this year. Malang Dedou is the referee from Senegal, a customs officer by profession. And Efan Ekoku, you made the interesting point a few moments ago to Mark Chapman that they're not necessarily these sides playing for second place behind Brazil. Costa Rica won a very, very difficult group, including Uruguay, England and Italy in Brazil 2014. So these sides might be aiming for better than second, would they?
Absolutely. And if Brazil were to slip up, and who knows, you know, they've been beaten in group stage matches before. Norway beat them, I think, in 1998, Brazil, and they went on to reach the final. So it can happen. And in the World Cup, usually we get an upset, don't we, in the group stages.
This is BBC Radio 5 Live.
Unfortunately, due to rights restrictions, we're not able to bring you the current sports commentary on this platform. You may be able to listen on an alternative platform. For further information and terms of use, go to bbc.co.uk/5live.
This is BBC Radio 5 Live.
Unfortunately, due to rights restrictions, we're not able to bring you the current sports commentary on this platform. You may be able to listen on an alternative platform. For further information and terms of use, go to bbc.co.uk/5live.
This is BBC Radio 5 Live.
Unfortunately, due to rights restrictions, we're not able to bring you the current sports commentary on this platform. You may be able to listen on an alternative platform. For further information and terms of use, go to bbc.co.uk/5live.
This is BBC Radio 5 Live.
Unfortunately, due to rights restrictions, we're not able to bring you the current sports commentary on this platform. You may be able to listen on an alternative platform. For further information and terms of use, go to bbc.co.uk/5live.
This is BBC Radio 5 Live.
Unfortunately, due to rights restrictions, we're not able to bring you the current sports commentary on this platform. You may be able to listen on an alternative platform. For further information and terms of use, go to bbc.co.uk/5live.
This is BBC Radio 5 Live.
Unfortunately, due to rights restrictions, we're not able to bring you the current sports commentary on this platform. You may be able to listen on an alternative platform. For further information and terms of use, go to bbc.co.uk/5live.
This is BBC Radio 5 Live.
Unfortunately, due to rights restrictions, we're not able to bring you the current sports commentary on this platform. You may be able to listen on an alternative platform. For further information and terms of use, go to bbc.co.uk/5live.
This is BBC Radio 5 Live.
Unfortunately, due to rights restrictions, we're not able to bring you the current sports commentary on this platform. You may be able to listen on an alternative platform. For further information and terms of use, go to bbc.co.uk/5live.
This is BBC Radio 5 Live.
Unfortunately, due to rights restrictions, we're not able to bring you the current sports commentary on this platform. You may be able to listen on an alternative platform. For further information and terms of use, go to bbc.co.uk/5live.
This is BBC Radio 5 Live.
Unfortunately, due to rights restrictions, we're not able to bring you the current sports commentary on this platform. You may be able to listen on an alternative platform. For further information and terms of use, go to bbc.co.uk/5live.
This is BBC Radio 5 Live.
Unfortunately, due to rights restrictions, we're not able to bring you the current sports commentary on this platform. You may be able to listen on an alternative platform. For further information and terms of use, go to bbc.co.uk/5live.
This is BBC Radio 5 Live.
Unfortunately, due to rights restrictions, we're not able to bring you the current sports commentary on this platform. You may be able to listen on an alternative platform. For further information and terms of use, go to bbc.co.uk/5live.
This is BBC Radio 5 Live.
Unfortunately, due to rights restrictions, we're not able to bring you the current sports commentary on this platform. You may be able to listen on an alternative platform. For further information and terms of use, go to bbc.co.uk/5live.
This is BBC Radio.
E vai ser vendido por uma fortuna nessa janela. O Manchester United tinha interesse, não sei se agora com a contratação do Fred acaba anulando esse interesse, mas o Manchester estava disposto a pagar mais de 60 milhões de euros pelo Milinkovic-Savic, que é jovem ainda e é um jogador que se destacou muito na última temporada europeia.
E que estádio, hein? Que estádio belíssimo em Samara. Foi construído numa ilha que fica ao sul de Samara. O mais interessante é construir uma ponte para o pessoal chegar nessa ilha, que não é próxima não. 0-0. Costa Rica, 0 também para a Sérvia. Olha a Costa Rica chegando, vem pro jogo, vem com o Venegas. Venegas vai para dentro, tentou toque de 300. Ele taca para bater em cima da marcação. Venegas também na frente, para aqui pelo setor esquerdo. O Venegas vai tentar cruzar, levantou, bateu mal na bola. Bateu muito mal na bola, meu cara.
Aí bateu mal mesmo, né? Cortou pra perna direita, foi costurando por ali, bateu mascado, foi pra fora, rasteirinho, 0-0.
0-0, 9 da manhã, Michael Santos, 8 minutos, horário de Brasília, 4 da tarde, Michael Santos, 8 minutos, horário de Samara. Você começar o dia com Copa do Mundo, hein? Que maravilha, como é gostoso a Copa do Mundo, como é legal curtir a Copa do Mundo. Comece o seu dia sorrindo pra cima, curtindo a Jovem Pan, sempre pra cima, energia positiva, Copa do Mundo aqui na Pan. Taca fora de novo, vem chegando para a meia esquerda, domina, pisa na bola, levanta a cabeça, volta o jogo no meio, vem com o Matite, ele meteu a bola na ponta para Kolarov, volta o jogo um pouco mais atrás, o Matite fica com ela, ele domina, recolhe, volta o jogo no campo de defesa, Milinkovic, esticando a bola aqui na ponta direita, abrindo o jogo, e meu Benvite, ele meteu a bola aqui pelo setor direito, Ivanovic pisa, deixa o jogo um pouco mais atrás, Milinkovic fica com ela, Milinkovic meteu a bola ao lado dele para Tosic, Tosic vai levando, partiu para o campo de ataque, na meia esquerda ele vai levantar, Paraná que não quer, levantou, Navas, saiu tranquilo para fazer a defesa, bola rolando, o jogo passando a Jovem Pan, informa o tempo para você. Restando 35 minutos e 20 segundos para acabar. 35 e 20 para acabar o primeiro tempo em Samara. Costa Rica 0, Sérvia também 0.
Daqui a pouco mais Copa do Mundo. A partir do meio-dia tem Alemanha e México pela Jovem Pan.
Tá todo mundo curtindo o futebol aqui na Jovem Pan, tamo junto. Que sonsaço pra você, direto de Samara. Briga pela bola de novo aqui pela meia esquerda, vem pro jogo, trabalhou, vem Venegas, abriu o jogo aqui na ponta, Venegas vai pra dentro, tem a marcação em cima dele, chamou pra bailar de pé na esquerda, tentou cruzar, bateu para em cima da marcação, bateu em cima de Ivanovic, ganha a cabeça lateral, favorecendo a seleção da Costa Rica. Vem o Calvo pra por a bola do jogo. O Calvo vai tomando ali. Olha só que marra de letra. Ajeitou a bola ali. Vai ele, tomando distância. É pequenininho. Vamos ver se tem força. Lá vem Calvo. Calvo vai meter a bola na grande área. Ele levanta a bola na frente pra Venegas. Solta o jogo pra Calvo. Calvo tentou cruzar a bola. Bateu aqui em cima de Ted, que ganha a cabeça lateral. Ganha mais de sua cabeça aqui pelo lado esquerdo. Arremessou já cobrado. Dominou. Vem trabalhando. Vem com Venegas. Venegas dominou. Tenta a finta. Venegas ganha escanteio. O último toque foi do Bengadunce ali que ele tocou Ivanovic. É escanteio pra Costa Rica, meu caro Teba.
Tentou a finta, o Venegas não conseguiu, mas o último a tocar na bola foi sim Ivanovic. Acertou a arbitragem, escanteio pra equipe da Sérvia, da Costa Rica bater.
Vamos ver quem é que vem na cobrança ali. Ele tomou Curtinga para na frente, trabalhou o Garo Guzman. Vai levantar, levantou livre. Nossa Senhora! Gonzalez!
Se você matar o papai,
matou o papai na Costa Rica. Ele perdeu um gol incrível, meu caro Teba.
Perdeu um gol incrível, estava sozinho. Cruzamento do Guzman depois, uma jogada ensaiada, e apareceu totalmente livre por ali, cabeceando para fora o Gonzalez. Não pode perder gol assim, Favara.
Não pode. Bruno Prado, 0-0, uma grande oportunidade, hein, Bruno?
A segunda oportunidade muito boa da Costa Rica, né? A primeira no contra-ataque com Orenha, agora essa cabeçada com Gonzalez. A Costa Rica é um time que se defende bem, a Sérvia tem a bola, não consegue entrar na área, e a Sérvia, em alguns momentos, ela começa a cruzar bolas diretas para a área, o que não é um bom negócio. A Sérvia tem que trabalhar no chão, tentar chegar tocando. Não é fácil quebrar a defesa da Costa Rica, que é muito bem postada, uma linha de 5, outra linha de 4 jogadores jogadores e só Orenha na frente, mas a Sérvia tem que insistir. Ela insiste na bola longa, dá o contra-ataque para Costa Rica, e a Costa Rica, quando chega, leva muito perigo para a seleção sérvia. As 2 chances do jogo até agora da seleção costarriquenha.
Show de bola, está com você, Copa do Mundo, Copa do Mundo. Lá vem de novo Sérvia, aqui balão na frente, dominou Mitrovic, ele bate, a bola bateu em cima da marcação, sobrou pro Navas. O jogo tá legal demais, o jogo lá em casa, jogo de alto nível. Jogo de alto nível, é bom te estar de olho e certamente está, meu caro Teba.
Certamente, o Tite que também termina com o It, jogada ensaiada por ali, o Savic encostou para o Mitrovic, que finalizou de peito de pé. Só que houve o desvio e aí fez uma defesa com facilidade o goleiro Navas.
Beleza, vamos ouvir o José Manuel falando de Alemanha e México para você que aqui na Jovem Pan. Vamos ouvir o Zé Manuel, pode chamar o Zé? Pode chamar o Zé Manuel, fala Zé!
Bom dia, Fausto, meus amigos da Jovem Pan. Meio-dia, estreia da Alemanha na Copa do Mundo da Rússia. O adversário será o México e a Pan transmite Alemanha e México para todo o Brasil. Bom jogo aí, Fausto.
Mauro Betti, eu sei que você acordou 5 horas da manhã, porque você não perde um jogo de Copa. Um cara que é apaixonado por Copa do Mundo não perde um profissional espetacular jamais. Mauro, primeiro que o jogo tá legal, Costa Rica e Sérvia, mas eu quero que você fale de México e Alemanha. Outro jogaço, hein, Mauro? Bom dia, Mauro.
Bom dia, Fausto. Sempre dias maravilhosos de Copa do Mundo. Já tá bom esse jogo e o outro, se bobear, vai ser melhor, porque o México é maluco, a Alemanha é ótima.
Olha aí a Costa Rica chegando, brigou, rasga essa gatilha de qualquer maneira. Diga lá, Mauro.
Como diria um amigo nosso, tudo pode acontecer, uma goleada da Alemanha ou uma goleada do México. Vai ser um festival de gols já na narração do José Manuel de Barros.
Que beleza, tudo pode acontecer. Pensei que vinha alguma coisa mais elaborada e veio tudo pode acontecer. Que maravilha, tá cedo, toca, vai aquecendo, entendeu? Vai aquecendo, toca a bola de novo aqui para a meia esquerda. Vem chegando, trabalhando, vem com Tadic perdeu, a bola rasga, a marcação tira de qualquer maneira. A Jovem Pan sempre arrebentando. Essa é a seleção de esportes da Jovem Pan. Briga pela bola, chegando, vem Milankovic-Savic, ele dominou Milankovic-Savic, meteu com a bola na meia esquerda, domina, Liatic vai levantar, levantou, afasta a zaga, sobrou de novo na intermediária, domina, pisa na bola, Matite, meteu com a bola aqui na ponta, fez o domínio com Tadic meteu com a bola na ponta para Ivanovic vai tentar cruzar, pega Navas, afasta a zaga, pagou geral o Navas ali, lá vem Costa Rica, o árbitro parou, o Rafael, falta de ataque marcada, diga lá, Taba.
Na ponta direita, Ivanovic fez a finta e cruzou por baixo, de chapa, rasteiro e forte, o Navas fez a defesa, quase a Sérvia faz o primeiro e no contra-ataque a Costa Rica tentou a resposta. Jogo não para, Favara.
Não para, você fechado com o futebol da
All stations is on the air. Talk Sport 2, because sport never stops. Get set for more live sport, more incisive pundit comment and opinion, and more Andrew McKenna.
Thank you very much.
Sport radio that hits you for 6. Talk Sport 2. Tackling live Super League action. Live commentary of the UEFA Champions League. Live at Vivo Premiership Rugby.
They must surely score.
Golf coverage that's perfectly pitched.
We're not allowed to cry on radio.
Ball midway inside the Serbian half. He'll play it back towards the halfway line and they'll try and recycle possession here now. Costa Rica moving forward with Duarte, holds the ball up and plays it back for Calvo. Back to the halfway line, but Guzman was outnumbered there and it goes all the way back to Gonzalez this time. Now on the halfway line, Borges has the ball for Costa Rica. Square here for Ruiz again. He launches it forward, but the header is there that time from Ivanovic quite comfortably. And Serbia are able to bring the ball clear. We've had 16 minutes of this game, and what a 16 minutes it's been. It's Costa Rica 0, Serbia 0, live on Talk Sport, and the ball's gone all the way back for Keylor Navas. And now Costa Rica will start again, and it's going to be Guzman just inside his own half. Out wide here towards Calvo. Now it's going to be Duarte all the way back here, and now Navas has the ball again. So on the left hand side, Costa Rica have plenty of time on the ball. But that's a little bit sloppy from Duarte because he had Milinkovic-Savic closing him down and it deflected off him, and they're able to bring the ball clear. But now Guzman has committed a foul on Milivojevic, and it's going to be a free kick to Serbia, John.
Yeah, Milivojevic there, you know, he's first to react. He picks up the second ball, and yes, it was a foul. But going back to that, Ivanovic, great play down that right-hand side. Even at 34, his energy levels that he shows, and it was actually Calvo, I think, that he cut inside. And he plays it across that face of the goal, and Navas is out quick, doing what all Greek goalkeeper does, and gets a really, really vital touch. Free good from Ivanovic for Nigel. Free kick to Serbia then, and it's going to be taken here by Tadic, who's just having a word with the referee. He's not happy with the way the wall is, but referee's going to have to just ask Guzman to step back a step or two, so the free kick can be taken. 18 gone here, no goals between Costa Rica and Serbia, and the free kick now is going to be taken by Tadic. He chips it towards the penalty area. Now there's the heads go up in the box, and it's cleared away in the end by Acosta Zamora, and it's gone all the way out on that far touchline for a throw-in to Serbia, because the header went in from Ivanovic and it was cleared to safety. But now the throw-in is taken and it's back towards the halfway line. Serbia have the ball on the halfway now with Milenkovic out wide towards the right-hand side, and Ivanovic once again, patient build-up this time from Serbia. To be fair, there was no way the pace of this game could have carried on how it was in the first 5 minutes even. It's still pretty quick though.
It's not bad.
It's not slowed down an awful lot.
Yeah, and now back in the Serbian half. Milenkovic plays it towards the halfway line now, and they're just strolling around and enjoying some possession here now, Serbia. Ivanovic launches the ball forward, and it's out wide on the right-hand side for Tadic now. Tadic is going to twist and turn, put it on his left foot, then turn into he's almost lost the ball there because it was too complicated. He managed to get it in with the left foot on that occasion, and it was headed out that time from Ruiz. And now Serbia will come again in the centre circle. They're seeing plenty of possession now. They have the ball here with Tosic. Square, this time for Milivojevic. Out wide, Ivanovic is calling for it, but inside is Tadic now. Holds the ball up under a little bit of pressure from Venegas, and now the ball's out from right to left. A long ball from Milivojevic, and now the ball's on the halfway line. Just on the edge of the centre circle is where it is. Matic holds the ball up now. Squares it for Milenkovic. Out wide here now, this time for Ivanovic, who launches it towards the penalty area again, but that time they're able to deal with it. Calvo on that occasion for Costa Rica, who haven't seen a lot of the ball in the last 5 minutes or so. They hold it up now with Ruiz on the overlap on the right-hand side, and now Ruiz takes it back on his left foot. He'll go back towards the halfway line, and it's square here now for Guzman. Guzman goes back to his defender, and now here is Duarte, left-hand side for Costa Rica. Holds it up, plays it forward, but the Serbians are there again. Tadic winning it back, but that's a little bit careless from Tadic, and he almost lost the ball there on that occasion and plays it forward with his right foot, but it's a little bit sloppy, and Gonzalez is there to get it all the way back to Keylor Navas. Navas plays a short ball towards Borges. Borges now comes out and dinks the ball forward into the Serbian half. A ball out towards Venegas on the left-hand side now. What can Venegas do with this against Ivanovic? Plays it square. Too many Serbian players around him, and there's a foul committed here by Calvo, and it looks like it's going to be the first yellow card of the game, and it's Calvo who is going to get it for Costa Rica. Yellow card, first one of the game. Free kick to Serbia just outside their own penalty area, and Francisco Calvo is the first man to go in the referee's notebook.
Yeah, we've just seen it again. Yeah, he's late.
Correct decision.
It's a late tackle on Tadic. Tadic plays the ball, he's come in late, he's took him out really, and definite yellow card, no complaints about that. But before that, I would have liked to have seen Venegas having a run there at Ivanovic. He's wide, he's running at him. Ivanovic is backing off and thinking, go on, take him on, knock it around the outside, test him. Ivanovic is 34, yes, still a good athlete, but I'm thinking, go on, test him, take him on. Decided to come inside. Perfect opportunity there to run at Ivanovic.
Tadic just having a little bit of treatment, but okay now, and play will resume. It's going to be Stojkovic, the keeper, who's going to take this now. It was Kolarov having an intake of fluid as well, alongside Milinkovic-Savic, and now it's going to be a free kick to Serbia, level with the edge of their own penalty area. John,
just felt there, Nigel, what, 3 or 4 minutes ago, you mentioned it, the nice little spell that Serbia were having. I just thought for a couple of minutes there, they just looked as if they were getting a little bit of a foothold in the game, really, without threatening Costa Rica's goal too much. They just look as if they're the team that have settled. Saying that, Costa Rica have gone close twice. Yeah,
they're dangerous on the break. Costa Rica, they've had the best 2 chances of the game so far, Costa Rican side, and they just haven't been able. It's Gonzalez twice. First time, header straight at the keeper. The second time, unmarked, 6 yards out. Couldn't even get it on target, put it over the bar. Frustration for Costa Rica. Midway through the first half now. It's Costa Rica 0, Serbia 0 in the FIFA World Cup 2018. It's live on TalkSport, the first of 3 commentaries today. Germany-Mexico at 4 o'clock. Gary Taphouse and Dean Ashton, your men for the occasion. And then Brazil-Switzerland at 7 o'clock tonight. Show hosted by Adrian, with Ian Dancer and Matt Holland, your commentary team. Ball on the right-hand touchline now for Serbia, with Tadic coming forward. Puts it on his left foot, plays a clever ball in. It's a nice ball for Ljajic on the right-hand side, but there's nobody else there, so his lob across goal is fruitless in the end, because there was no Serbian player to latch onto it. And now Costa Rica coming forward at pace, but now it comes to Ivanovic, the Serbian defender, to start again here. And Costa Rica are now, John, I've just noticed whenever they get the ball, they're not making moves into the final third like they were in the opening 10-15 minutes.
That's right. They've stopped running in behind. They've stopped sort of posing that threat, if you like. Arena's up there on his own. It's a very difficult role. If you've got players supporting you, then it's a good position to play in. But when you're a little bit isolated, and in the last 3 or 4 minutes they've not got support up to Arena. But going back there to Serbia's attack, I just felt Ljajic just got a little bit too much on that cross. Just needed to get the weight of the pass a little bit better. Hit it too hard.
Into the 25th minute of this game. The Samara Arena. Costa Rica 0, Serbia 0. TalkSport is where it's at. And now Serbia have the ball just inside their own half, with Milenkovic of Fiorentina. And Matic holds the ball up, squares it out here for Tosic on the left-hand side, and just slowing the game down and playing it and dictating the pace of play as well at the same time. Matic plays it back here, and Tosic now plays it out wide to the left-hand side, and it's a throw-in that time. It's come off a red shirt. I think it was Ruiz on that occasion, and it's out for a throw-in on that far touchline. Taken short here now, and Serbia pick it up again, edge of the centre circle. They've lost only 4 of their last 22 internationals, Serbia, and they're moving forward here now. The ball played in square from the right-hand side, and that was from Mitrovic. It was the edge of the penalty area, but there's nobody there, and now Mitrovic again has the ball, centre the penalty spot, but there's 3 players around him, and they bundle the ball away, Costa Rica. They've got it now on the right-hand touchline, and a clever ball from Venegas as they launch it forward here. And it's a good clearance in the end from Milenkovic, who puts it out for a throw-in on this near side, but no doubt Mitrovic starting to look a little bit more threatening in the penalty area.
Yeah, it was a great touch there as well. He brings that down from the air, about 20-30 foot up in the air, brings it down. Beautiful first touch. For me there, that's when you're centre forward, you're looking for him to pop it off to an oncoming midfield player. He's got 2 defenders behind him, and he's looking to turn and shoot, but it was almost impossible to get the shot off. So for me, he's just got to be a focal point there and be a bit more unselfish and look to roll it onto an oncoming midfield player who's in a better position to have a shot on goal.
26 gone then. Costa Rica 0, Serbia 0 on TalkSport. And the ball is with Serbia on the halfway line now. They're going to launch it forward here. Kolarov launches it into the penalty area, and real opportunity from Milinkovic-Savic, and the keeper is equal to it, because the young man couldn't quite get any purchase on the shot. It was a great position to be in the penalty area. He's beaten the offside trap. Keeper's gone down to his left, lacked power, and that is the main reason why it remains Costa Rica 0, Serbia 0.
Well, it's a brilliant run from Tadic. He's running along the line and he ghosts in behind the Costa Rica defence. I think it was Kolarov who played the ball. It's an inch perfect diagonal ball, and Tadic should do a lot better. He's in on goal, he takes it to his left foot, and then he doesn't quite get the execution at the end. But what a great opportunity for Tadic in Serbia. Fantastic run.
Yeah, it's Costa Rica 0, Serbia 0 remaining here, and we have had 27 minutes and chances for both sides now. It's the type of game it's been. It's been a fast, frenetic pace.
Just seemed to ghost in there, Tadic, didn't he? We're looking at it, and I never saw him going in there, but he just sort of ghosted in and then darted an angle into behind the Costa Rican defence. Yeah. Brilliant run from Tadic, but I should have done better with the finish.
Certainly outpaced the defence, and they couldn't predict the move. Undid them superbly. And now Ivanovic on the right-hand side plays it forward again. Here comes Tadic on the right-hand side looking for the ball, gets it as well, holds it up under a little bit of pressure here, this time from Calvo, puts it on his left foot again, delivers it out wide, and that's a crucial header away for Costa Rica from Gamboa. Now the ball's up towards the halfway line again, this time as Serbia will recycle possession once again, and they move forward, edge of the centre circle, and this time it is Milivojevic who holds the ball up and goes out square for Ivanovic. I think it's certainly fair to say here that Serbia are starting to dominate in terms of possession.
Well, I think Calvo and Gamboa, who are playing sort of wing backs for Costa Rica, they need to play more infield, because I think Serbia are dominating possession in the middle of the park, and that's where they're going to get an extra body in there for me. So when they're attacking, fantastic, they play wide, they create the width for Costa Rica. That's where they're looking for the crosses to come from. But when they're defending, they've got to tuck in, and they've got to be have a more defensive mindset when they're defending, because Serbia are getting a lot of the ball.
Yeah, big day for Ivanovic, of course. We remind you, it's his 104th cap today, a record for Serbia. Back in the tournament final stages, if you like, after 8 years, Serbia. Costa Rica, quarter-finalists 4 years ago in Brazil. So, big day for both sides here. And a free kick for Serbia on the halfway line. Ball's played out wide here towards Tadic on the right-hand side. Decent game so far. Good to watch. Hope you're enjoying our coverage here on TalkSport. John Hartson and Nigel Pearson talking you through the action. Gary Taphouse and Dean Ashton up for Germany, Mexico, and Ian Danter and Matt Holland for Brazil, Switzerland later. 3 more games tomorrow and 3 more on Tuesday, and tomorrow, of course, at 7 o'clock, the small matter of Tunisia versus England. Mark Saggers, your host, Jim Proudfoot and Stuart Pearce, your commentary team for Tunisia versus England. That's tomorrow at 7 o'clock on TalkSport. Now here comes Serbia again. Tadic on the right-hand side, plays it short here, and a real opportunity for Milinkovic-Savic. Plays it out wide again for Tadic, but he's outnumbered here, and he's committed a foul as well, so it's going to be a free kick to Costa Rica on this near side, and just caught his leg. Tadic has just caught the leg of Venegas, and it's a free kick to Costa Rica, left-hand side of play. Half an hour gone, a third of the way through the game now, and it's Costa Rica 0, Serbia 0.
That's been a wonderful first 30 minutes here. I think there's been chances for both teams. At this moment in time, it's Serbia that look the likely. Mitrovic starting to get a hold of the ball for his team, being a focal point. But as we've already seen, Costa Rica a threat from set pieces and also on the break.
So, free kick is taken then on this near side, and it's a long ball for Costa Rica towards the edge of the Serbian penalty area. Good game so far. No goals, but chances for both sides. And now Serbia have it deep inside their own half with Milivojevic now, the Crystal Palace man. Plays it out wide here towards the right-hand side of Ivanovic. A big day personally for him. Ivanovic, long deep ball, but it had too much purchase on it, and it's straight behind for a goal kick. Your thoughts so far, John?
Well, I just think that after Costa Rica's electric start, I think there was always going to be a bit of a dip from Costa Rica, and that's come in the last 5 minutes. Saying that, Serbia have got a hold of their defence. Since Gonzalez have had them 2 great opportunities, they've looked a lot more solid when Costa Rica have attacked. But it's Serbia, for me, right now, after 32 minutes on the clock, that are getting a real foothold in the game. They are now dominating possession. Yes. Costa Rica need to do something about this. They need to find an extra player in the middle of the park when they're defending.
So it's going to be a throw-in on this near side, although it looks as though Venegas is in a spot of bother on this near touchline. And might just need a little bit of treatment in a tender area, shall we say.
I'll leave that with you, Nigel.
Yes, that's the best way to describe it. I think most people will know what I'm referring to, but a few deep breaths is okay. We crack on. Here we go. 32 gone. 0-0 Costa Rica Serbia, and Ivanovic now with the throw-in on this near side. A flick on here this time from Milivojevic, but they can't find any way through the final third, and Costa Rica are able to get the ball clear, and Venegas puts it out of play, and Ivanovic will take the throw-in again on this near side. Just starting to get a little bit scrappy now, John?
Yes, it is, but I just feel as well that them two, and I mean they were real, especially the second header from Gonzalez. That was a wonderful chance, and you just wonder, Nigel, whether they will go on to rue their missed chances. Them opportunities don't always come around in these big games. I know he's a centre-back, he's not a centre-forward in that position, but I just feel they've not done an awful lot since them 2 opportunities, and Serbia are the team looking more likely at this moment in time. You've got to take them good opportunities you get in the game.
34 gone here, and a big day for Costa Rica manager Oscar Ramirez, of course, leading his country at the World Cup for the first time after taking charge after only a week, when he was appointed Paulo Wanchop's assistant. And then a bit of drama behind the scenes, and he was manager a week later, and here he is. But now Serbia going forward. Mitrovic plays it out wide towards the right-hand side, but he left Tadic a little bit short there. Tadic now under pressure from Venegas, and now the Costa Rican has won the ball, but illegally, and it's going to be a free kick to Serbia on the right-hand side, almost by the corner flag. And this is going to be a decent position for the Serbian side. A foul committed against Tadic.
Good play from Tadic. He actually buys the foul. He's right in front of the linesman. Linesman don't quite want to give it, but you know, I have to say, I thought Zamora was all over Tadic there. So correct decision. Free kick to Serbia.
Could this be the moment? Could this be the moment, we wonder, where the breakthrough is made? It's in a great position here. Kolarov wide on the right-hand side, looking to play the ball in left-footed and punch clear superbly by Keylor Navas. That was great goalkeeping again. He's just punched it clear, and there's absolutely no doubt that Serbia weren't going to get towards the ball there. There's a collision, 2 players here. Serbia's Tosic is down, and a little bit of treatment needed here now towards the latter stages of this first half. Tosic has collided with Acosta Zamora, and it's an awkward landing for both players as well, John.
Yeah, it is. There's nothing cynical in this at all. I think both players go for the ball, and it's just unfortunate. Just looking at that save from Navas, he's so brave. He's coming out with his fist. How many games, Nigel, do you think Navas wins for Costa Rica?
Plenty. I mean,
that goalkeeping position now is so important, isn't it? You know, he can play
81 caps. He's a real.
He can play with his feet as well. He's a good passer of the ball. It's almost like having an extra defender.
Very much so. Still a little bit of treatment needed here, and it does look as though the substitutes are going to start warming up, which is no major surprise. And Acosta Zamora is walking away. But it does look a little bit battered and bruised. Holding his arm, it was an awkward landing, and when that happens, you never know. Could be a shoulder, collarbone. It was such an awkward landing, and nobody was going to give in there. Tosic went in full force, and it was just...
Acosta sort of run under him, didn't he? Run underneath. You know, so for me, he's obviously done his elbow or his collarbone, because he walked off. Didn't really look in too much pain.
But the ball's back in play now, and it is Gonzalez who takes the long ball back, and Tosic is back on the field of play, which is good to see. Gonzalez, and we're pleased to report that Acosta is back on the field of play as well, so no lasting damage.
I'd have been surprised if he'd have gone off. He actually looked okay when he walked off the pitch.
Yep. It's good news, so back to full strength, and it's a clearance here from Stojkovic for Serbia. And now the ball is on the right-hand side. Ivanovic puts the ball out of play. It's going to be a throw into Costa Rica, midway inside the Serbian half now. We've got almost 38 minutes on the clock. Costa Rica 0, Serbia 0. Talk Sport, FIFA World Cup 2018. Live commentary on this and the other two games today coming your way here on Talk Sport. Ivanovic now, 104th cap today, clears the ball. It's been a good first half, plenty of entertainment, plenty of talking points, but still goalless. Kolarov launches it forward. Serbia seeing so much more of the ball now as well, but Costa Rica have got a brief spell of possession of their own now. They played short here towards Borges. Ball's out wide towards the right-hand touchline. Duarte plays it forward, and still they're able to keep the ball because Serbia can't clear it. Urena with a shot over the bar, a snapshot from just outside the penalty area and not too far away in the end. It was just a shame for him that it was rising just as it got towards the goal.
It's Tosic for Serbia that takes a bit of a tumble, just falls over his own feet, and Urena works the shot really well. He shifts it onto his left foot. He's got clear hit at the Serbian goal, and as you said, Nigel, he leans back and it goes high and over the crossbar. But half a chance there from Urena.
Yeah, and current form not too good as far as Costa Rica are concerned. Of course, they did play England at Ellen Road, 2-0 defeat, and they did lose 4-1 to Belgium in Brussels in their most recent friendly ahead of the tournament. So not the best of form going into the tournament. Now Costa Rica come forward and they've won themselves a corner. It was a good run here on the left-hand side from Calvo, and Ivanovic is the man who's got a crucial challenge in there. That was good from Ivanovic.
That's what I mentioned earlier on, that left wide sort of wing-back Calvo producing that width and the energy up that left-hand side, getting forward there and winning Costa Rica a corner.
Yep, Guzman is the man who's going to take this corner on this near side, and it's headed away comfortably as Costa Rica look to win the ball back, but Serbia are going to charge forward with Tadic now on this right-hand side. It's put out of play. Urena is the man, and now Serbia are able to have another throw and another. Two successive throw-ins. That time it was Guzman who put the ball out of play. And I've seen chances, as we say, for both sides here. Gonzalez on a couple of occasions for Costa Rica. Milinkovic-Savic had that one opportunity, which was saved by the keeper, but he was in a great position. Too clever. He outfoxed the Costa Rica defence, and now the ball's on this right-hand touchline, and it is going to be Acosta Zamora who's going to take it left-hand side as far as Costa Rica are concerned on this near touchline inside their own half. 5 minutes to go to half-time. Costa Rica 0, Serbia 0 on Talk Sport. Now the red shirts have it of Costa Rica with Ruiz, plays it square here for Borges. Now square again for Ruiz, and they go backwards into their own half. This time they're looking for Duarte, who takes it on the left-hand side. It's up to the halfway line now, Costa Rica. And this time Duarte goes back for Acosta Zamora once again, 34 years of age. One of three players who's over 30 in the Costa Rica side. Serbia, very much an ageing side, with the likes of Kolarov and Ivanovic and Stojkovic and Tosic, all 30 plus and comfortably. And Costa Rica coming forward now on this near side with Duarte. Plays it square here for Calvo. Left-hand touchline. It's returned nicely for Calvo. Might as well shoot from there, edge of the penalty area, and it goes wide on the right-hand post. But well worth an effort from Calvo. He's just pulled it wide. Nice build-up work. Found himself in a little bit of space. And why not have a go from there? Edge of the penalty area, just wide, curled wide. of Stojkovic's right-hand post. It remains Costa Rica 0, Serbia 0 on TalkSport.
Well, I did everything right there, I have to say. The left wing-back Calvo gets himself up the pitch, plays one or two really neat 1-2s. You just wonder whether it just looked like one of them right-foot swingers. He just seems all left foot, doesn't he? If it's on his left foot, you know he's going to get a good strike at it.
Yep, and Costa Rica coming again now. They've won the ball back from the clearance. Gamboa on the right-hand side. And now under a little bit of pressure from Matic, who wins the ball back and plays it short here for Kolarov. Surely this game's got goals in it. Surely, the way it's been going so far. Now they come forward again with Jajic on this near side. Square for Milivojevic. And it's just outside the penalty area for Ivanovic now. Ivanovic holds the ball up. And now the overhead kick, saved by the keeper, Navas. Costa Rica, though, looked towards the system on this near side. The offside flag was up, and no major surprise there. He was offside. And
I don't know.
Marginal.
I think Gamboa's playing him on the right-hand side.
Well, it was a save by Navas anyway, but the overhead kick from Milinkovic-Savic looked as though it might have been onside from the replay on our monitor.
It just looked as if Gamboa was playing Milinkovic-Savic onside on that far right-hand side. It just looked as if he was playing him onside. But irrespective of that, Milinkovic-Savic doesn't know he's offside. What a brilliant effort. Overhead kick.
And again, Navas is there.
Navas
to think there was a
good save, yeah.
Little concern for the Costa Rican keeper in the build-up to the game.
Neither team now will want to lose a goal. Terrible time to go, to lose a goal now when both teams have put in so much effort. Both teams have had good chances. They'll want to get in now at 0-0, regroup and then go again and look to get the first goal in the second half.
This can't end 0-0, this match, can it?
Possibly, no.
God.
No way you can't.
We're into the last minute of the first half here. The Samara Arena, southwest Russia. Costa Rica 0, Serbia 0 is the scoreline. But it's been an eventful opening 44 minutes so far. And Serbia have the ball on the halfway line now. Plenty of opportunities. And now Ivanovic on the right-hand side of play. But yeah, just going back to that point, there were concerns about Navas in the Costa Rica goal with injury ahead of the game. One or two doubts that he may even make this one. Maybe just a little bit too early for him, but I think we've seen on 2 or 3 occasions in this first half, John, how much they rely on a world-class keeper like that.
Yeah, it's not just his saves either, Nigel. It's not just his individual saves. It's his all-round goalkeeping play, his awareness. He's quick off his line. He's alert. He's alert to the game. He's watching the game. He knows exactly. I bet now that the ball is in the Serbian half. He'll be standing outside his 18-yard box, just looking for that ball over the top. That's what goalkeeper is. It's the whole package. And you've got to be that tight now to be a good goalkeeper. You can't just be a shot stopper. You've got to have the lot.
Yep. And 2 minutes of time to be added on, a minimum of 2 minutes of time to be added on at the end of an eventful 45 minutes. Costa Rica without Navas would be like Wales without Neville Southall in the 80s. Is that a fair analysis?
He wasn't Southall, was he? Would you say Navas best in the world? Possibly.
One of them.
He's right up there. Well, I can honestly say
Neville was fantastic.
Well, best in the world in the 80s,
yes, he was,
wasn't he?
Without a doubt.
And there's many people that would share that opinion.
Yeah, and so we are into 2 minutes of time added on here in this first game of the day on TalkSport. Costa Rica 0, Serbia 0, and Navas is the man who is going to take this free kick just inside his own penalty area. It's 31 now, Keylor Navas, 81 caps before today, but a world-class keeper, no doubt. His clearance, though, is met with a response from Serbia, Mitrovic. Now the ball here for Milivojevic, just inside the Serbian half now. And as John said, really, neither side wants to concede in the last minute of time to be added on at the end of an eventful first half. But Costa Rica are powering forward now here into the penalty area. They've got Urena, but he's outnumbered. 3 Serbian defenders are there, and it's going to be a free kick because it's Tosic who has won the ball back, and he's fouled on the edge of his own penalty area. And this will be a free kick to Serbia now. Urena just ran out of options. Yeah. He was just overcrowded, wasn't he?
Well, he actually showed a good turn of speed there, didn't he? He got away from the Serbian defenders. He got it, he got a hold of the ball, and I just think it got a little bit caught under his feet. He allowed the Serbian defenders to get back goal side, and then nothing came of it in the end.
No goals here then in this opening game of the day. The 2 minutes of time added on are almost up, and it's going to be Stojkovic now who is going to take the free kick, edge of his own penalty area. Stojovic, the actual Serbian pronunciation, and the referee brings the first half to a close. An eventful 45 minutes, chances for Gonzalez on 2 occasions, in on goal, one off target, one on target, but straight at the keeper. And we saw a golden opportunity for Milinkovic-Savic at one stage as well. When he was in on goal, he outfoxed the defence, but couldn't quite finish. John Hartson, your thoughts?
Well, I think it's about right. I think 0-0. Costa Rica have had some good chances. Serbia have had chances, so 0-0 probably at the break is about right. Difficult to call in the second half who's actually favoured to go on and win the game. If I had to say a team, I would probably say Serbia. But what an entertaining, brilliant first 45 minutes.
Plenty of possession for Serbia, but chances for Costa Rica as well. At the break in the Samara Arena, an entertaining opening 45 minutes on TalkSport. It's Costa Rica 0, Serbia 0. Danny.
Just about right, that word entertaining. Really, really good. We'll get back to the boys very, very soon to discuss what you've just seen. But don't forget, it's only just part of an ongoing copyright, I have to use copyright here, feast of football that we've got for you here on TalkSport. Don't forget, as soon as this game's over, we'll be building up to Germany against Mexico, and then perhaps the highlight of today's World Cup fixtures, Brazil against Switzerland at 7, and tomorrow Sweden take on South Korea at 1 o'clock. At 4 o'clock Belgium take on Panama, and then at 7 o'clock in the evening, of course, England take their bow against Tunisia, and all those games are live here on TalkSport as well. We'll be hearing from England's Harry Maguire in just a few minutes time, but those are all the big games just today and tomorrow for you, where every game of course is live here on TalkSport. Now let's get some thoughts on that first half with the Co-op.
Halftime on TalkSport in partnership with the Co-op. Visit your local Co-op and grab all you need for the big match. Football's better together at the Co-op.
Well, John Hartson, before the game we heard at least 2 of the Serbians players saying that there's nothing to choose between the 3 other teams who are not Brazil in this group, and to be fair, that first half very, very evenly matched.
Yes, evenly matched, Danny. Serbia with just a little bit more, I would say, quality, and you'd expect that because of the names and the teams that the Serbian players play for. But I have to say, Costa Rica have stood up, they've withheld the challenge, they've had a right good go, and possibly, Dan, Costa Rica should be in front on the basis of the chances. Gonzalez has missed from 4 yards out a free header early in the game. If that puts Costa Rica 1-0 up, all of a sudden we've got a game then. Yes, Serbia, you know, they've probed, they've got some quality players. Ivanovic down this right hand side, he's got forward, you know what he's going to do, he's always looking to play and fire that ball into the front man. Mitrovic has done okay, he's got a hold of it. Tadic looks a threat, but other than that, I've been disappointed with the Serbian defending, certainly from set pieces. And listen, we've got a game. I would say Serbia, just because of their quality, are probably still slight favourites.
And the point we made before the start, that this was such a critical game for both countries. 3 points here, and you are, because of Brazil's dominance of this group, or at least what we anticipate, because you're on your way to the last 16. It meant that both sides have gone for it, which we haven't seen yet really in these World Cup matches, except perhaps for the game between Portugal and Spain. Both sides going for it, and refreshing is one word, and Nigel used the word entertaining as well. It's been a lovely game to watch.
It's been a really good game. It's actually been a super first 45 minutes, Dan. It really is. We're on the edge of our seats, me and Nigel. You don't really know where the player's going to go. All of a sudden, Arena looks tired. He looks a bit sluggish, the centre forward for Costa Rica. All of a sudden, a little burst of speed. He's in behind. He's run in behind the Serbian defenders, Tosic and Milinkovic. We've not seen a lot from the star build-up that we give Milinkovic-Savic, the young boy from Lazio.
Yeah.
We give him a massive build-up before the game, other than a wonderful bit of technical skill with the overhead kick, which I thought was very, very tight. The linesman gave it offside, and from that you saw a brilliant reaction save as well from Navas. So yes, Dan, you're right, it's been a great game. and let's hope we get something similar in the second half.
Well, this is normally a bit where I ask our experts what will the manager be saying. I'm going to say it for them. More of the same, please. That'll be absolutely fantastic. Have a go and have a quick cup of tea, John.
Thank you.
That was a look back at the first half with the Co-op. Football is better together at the Co-op.
Half-time on TalkSport in partnership with the Co-op. Visit your local Co-op and grab all you need for the big match. Football's better together at the Co-op.
Sometimes in this job you find yourself trying to be slightly generous towards a football match. When there's not much happening, you have to try and say, well, perhaps you get better. No need to do that with this game at all between Costa Rica and Serbia. There's been no goals, but it's been a belting first half.
Corner on this near side. Guzman takes it short. Thinks towards a far post, and it's a free header over the bar from Gonzalez. He should have done so much better than that. 6 yards out. It's put on his head, and he's put it over the bar. On the overlap, calling for it is Ivanovic. He's turned inside his marker. Plays the ball square towards the edge of the 6-yard area, and Navas was magnificent to get down to his right and get his right hand to it to deny any kind of opportunity that Serbia may have had there. Kolarov launches it into the penalty area. Real opportunity from Milinkovic-Savic, and the keeper is equal to it because the young man couldn't quite get any purchase on the shot. It was a great position to be in the penalty area. He's beaten the offside trap. Keeper's gone down to his left, lacked power, and that is the main reason why it remains Costa Rica 0, Serbia 0.
Tournament football can be unpredictable. So for all World Cup matches, back a team to win, and if they go 2 goals up at any point, Paddy Power will pay out as a winner immediately, whatever happens next. A wonder goal from a teenager. A random headbutt from a Frenchman. A hungry Uruguayan. Whatever. Go 2 up and nothing gets in the way of your winnings. Paddy Power. Enough of the nonsense. Applies to pre-match win, draw, win singles only. Not available in shops. T's and C's apply. 18 plus. BeGambleAware.org.
When Dave met Steve, sparks flew. When Barry met Gary, the foundations were laid. When Fred met Alex, they knew it would work. And they all met thanks to SuperSubby.com. For subcontractors looking for contractors and contractors looking for subbies, Super Subby finds the perfect match by skills, location and trade. It's free for subbies with a 3-month free trial for contractors. So download the app from the App Store and Google Play or visit SuperSubby.com. Super Subby, the new, smarter way to find site work or workers.
Philip Schofield here. I love that with WeBuyAnyCar.com you could find out what your car's worth in 60 seconds. Then you can get back to doing whatever you were doing, like your hedge trimming. You can't see, but I've sculpted a flamingo mid-flight, and I'm pretty pleased with it. To find out how much your car's worth in 60 seconds, enter your reg number now at WeBuyAnyCar.com.
Admin fee may apply. For more information, see WeBuyAnyCar.com/info.
The World Cup, the biggest stage for upsets, passion and opportunity. Your gut says to take advantage of every game, and your smarts say where to go. Because Betfair have had the best odds on the World Cup, so you always get the most from your bet. Betfair, where gut instinct meets smarts.
Data provided by TX Odds and BetRadar, based on Betfair Sportsbook average match odds over round since 12th of March 2018. Full terms at betfair.com, 18 plus. BeGambleAware.org.
We can't say sticks like Turbo from Evo Sticks' full name on the radio were not allowed. We can say that sticks like Turbo is an amazingly fast-setting adhesive. We can say sticks like Turbo can be used in all weather conditions. We can even say sticks like Turbo holds up to 300 kilograms in just 15 minutes. We just can't say what sticks like Turbo sticks like, but you can probably guess, and it really does. Sticks like Turbo from Evo Stick.
Beer, pizza, football, marvellous.
Right now, Co-op Super Saver deal is any 2 Co-op thin and crispy margarita or pepperoni pizzas plus a 4-pack of Budweiser bottles for just £5.
And I'm wearing my lucky shirt.
Oh, great. The one you were wearing last time we lost.
Subject to availability, 5 deals per customer. See Co-op stores for details.
If there's one thing QuickFit's famous for, it's tyres. And it's easy to see why. We have thousands of tyres in stock, including all the top brands. So we're bound to have what you need. Plus, with our special offers, there's always a great deal to be had. We've got over 600 centres across the UK, and most of them are open 7 days a week. So head down to your local QuickFit today or book online and drive away happy.
The football in Russia on Talk Sport with Toolstation. Free next day business delivery on orders over £10.
Sporting citizens of Le Monde. El Carnaval de Football is here, but could it be better? Back any country to win the tournament and get your money back as a free bet if your team is knocked out. We're half English, half Svenska, half Colombianos, because this is a tournament and a half. Go global with Sky Bet, making betting better. When the fun stops, stop.
18 plus, begambleaware.org. Max refund £10. First bet only. Applies to win single and win part of each way singles. Free bet stakes not returned. 7-day free bet expiry. Eligibility restrictions. T's and C's apply.
The football revolution is here. The 2018 FIFA World Cup, Russia on Talk Sport.
The World Cup on TalkSport with Just Eat. Get on the app and order your takeaway in time for kickoff. You could even win yourself a breathtaking 2018 football plate, like this one. Just Eat. Put it on a plate, man.
Yeah, back to Samara and Costa Rica against Serbia very, very soon. But don't forget, the long wait is nearly over for everybody. England get their World Cup campaign underway tomorrow night, live here, of course, on Talk Sport, when they face Tunisia. And yesterday, Talk Sport's Nigel Adderley caught up with the Leicester and Three Lions centre-half, Harry Maguire.
Harry, first of all, there's lots of players in the squad like yourself who could be on the verge of playing in their first World Cup this weekend or just after this weekend. I mean, how do you feel about that prospect personally?
No, it's a really exciting time for myself. Obviously, come away, getting the squad in Russia now, a couple of days away, and we're all looking forward to it. And like you've said, there's numerous players, 23 of us who all want to be in that starting 11. So when it does get announced, I'm sure the boys who are in it will be really excited and looking forward to the game, and then the boys who aren't will be willing to play their part too. Is there competition between the central defenders, because somebody's going to be maybe disappointed for the first game? Yeah, there's competition in every position. We've picked you can see what Gareth's done. He's picked a strong squad. There's players in each position. There's competition all around the team. So as a central defender, it's exactly the same. There's going to be 3 or maybe 2 starting, depending on the formation that he selects. But no, we're all fighting for our shirt, and fingers crossed the boys who get in the starting 11 go and do the business. And how is the relationship between the defenders as a group, sort of on the training field and away from the training field? Presumably you don't discuss team selection. No, not really. We all get on really well. There's no bitterness between the boys. Everyone gets on really well. Like I said, it's a good atmosphere around the place, and I'm sure whoever gets selected, the other boys will be willing and wanting them to go and do well for the country.
The England Insider on Talk Sport with Direct Line, de facto 5-star rated van insurance that keeps up with your world.
Yeah, that's your England insider, Nigel Adderley. He'll be part of our 4-pronged team that'll bring you the game tomorrow night. Tunisia against England. Both of them, of course, taking their bow in this tournament. Mark Saggers, Jim Proudfoot, Nigel Adderley, you heard from there, and Stuart Pearce will be your commentary team. And don't forget, immediately after the game, you can join the Sports Bar at 10 o'clock. To get all your views across the usual number 08717 22 3344. So watch the game and then make your views known to the Sports Bar gang on 08717 22 3344. Quickly back to John Hartson. John, I don't want to be too straightforward about this. So the coaches have got their jobs to do. They'll try and change the pattern, of course, but we'd be happy with more of the same, wouldn't we?
Yeah, well, we're just talking here, me and Nigel, obviously off air, and we just thought, Arena, different type of striker to Mitrovic. Mitrovic more can play the width of the 18-yard box. He's not expected to run in behind. He's not expected to turn the Costa Rica defenders, whereas Urena probably is expected as that lone striker to stretch the play and let Ruiz get a bit closer, and Vinegas and Calvo and Gamboa to get down the sides. So you just worried a little bit about Urena's legs, that one up front. The style that Costa Rica to play, maybe centre forward wise. The young lad called is it Joel Campbell? He's one of the subs today.
He's still an Arsenal player, as I understand
Arsenal,
it. Yeah.
Bristol City, so Campbell, they've got Costa Rica maybe if they want to switch it around, because Urena, he would have worked his socks off in that first half as that lone striker.
OK, well, listen, the second half is nearly upon us. It's Group E, the first game of the group that will include Brazil and Switzerland, who play tonight at 7 live here on Talk Sport. But at the moment in Samara, it's Costa Rica and Serbia 0-0 at half-time. Let's get back to your commentary team. You've just heard from John Hartson. Here's your match commentator, Nigel Pearson.
Danny, thank you very much indeed. Good afternoon once again, everybody. Teams are out on the field of play, and can we see more of the same? How often, I was just saying to John during the interval there, how often do you see a great match for 45 minutes and say, surely it's only a matter of time before we see goals in this one, and the second half flatters to deceive. Let's hope that won't be the case, because it was tremendous entertainment in that opening 45 minutes. It's Costa Rica in their red shirts and blue shorts, red socks, attacking left to right as we look down over the halfway line, with Serbia in their all-white kit here. And a reminder of the way the two sides line up here. Costa Rica with Navas in goal. There was a suggestion that he may be struggling for this one, but he does start today, which is good news for Costa Rica. Acosta, Zamora, Gonzalez and Duarte at the back. Gamboa, Borges, Guzman and Calvo in midfield, with Ruiz and Venegas the front men behind Urena. And for Serbia this afternoon, it's Stojkovic in goal, Ivanovic, Milenkovic, Tosic and Kolarov. Then it's Milivojevic, Matic, Milinkovic, Savic, who had that great chance and a cheeky overhead kick in the first half. And Tadic, Mitrovic and Ljajic are the front men for Serbia this afternoon in a 4-3-3. Back underway then on Talk Sport, the Samara Arena, and a big game for both sides when you consider that Brazil are in this group and they play tonight against Switzerland, 7 o'clock live on Talk Sport. So whoever wins this one will very much be on the front foot. You lose this one and you know that one of your next 2 games against Brazil, you could consider yourself to be in a spot of bother. But it's 0-0. We're in the 2nd minute of this second half here, and Costa Rica now have the ball on the far side, and it's going to be Duarte who delivers the ball into the penalty area, and it's cleared comfortably that time for Serbia from Kolarov, and it's deep into the Costa Rica half, and there is the keeper once again, Navas. And no changes at half time, but inevitably we will see those substitutions made in due course, but more of the same would do very nicely in terms of the entertainment value. Serbia have dominated the first half in terms of possession, but as we say, Costa Rica had those chances with Gonzalez, which were excellent chances, and they just couldn't convert. Guzman's been fouled here by Milinkovic-Savic. It's going to be a free kick to Costa Rica, John.
Yeah, well, as you said there, Nigel, the only thing we didn't have in that first half really was goals, but there were so many opportunities. You know, I say so many opportunities. Gonzalez had 2 good opportunities. Serbia had 1 or 2, so you know, we've not quite had the same start in the second half. That was almost impossible to how the game started off. Both teams got in within about a minute, so no, it's still settling down. The teams are sizing each other up in the second half, and there was always going to be a little bit of a, you know, a slowing down period, because that first half was so frantic.
It was, and we talk about the ages of players, by the way. Have to acknowledge and take our hat off to Opta on their social media feed. Costa Rica have named their oldest ever starting 11 in a World Cup game for this, beating their previous record by 1 day. And when you look at Acosta, Zamora 34, Gonzalez 30, Ruiz 32, then you can see why.
What do they say? You can't beat experience.
Yes, well, they've got that, but so have Serbia, of course. On a game like this today, Ivanovic is 34, Stojkovic is 34, Tosic is 33, and Kolarov's 32. And Costa Rica have the ball on this near touchline now. Halfway line, Serbia have won the ball back. They're attacking right to left now. The men in all white with a red trim, and they come forward now with Milinkovic-Savic. He plays the ball out here towards Milivojevic. Kolarov's struggling though. It looks like he's holding his back, but Serbia will move forward again on the right-hand side of play. It's going to be Tadic who holds the ball up. Plays it short here now for Milenkovic. Goes all the way back towards the halfway line here now. And it remains 0-0, 4 minutes into this second half. Costa Rica 0, Serbia 0 on Talk Sport. Ball's out with Kolarov on this left-hand touchline now. Still looking a little bit uncomfortable. Long ball forward, but Costa Rica are equal to it there with Gonzalez heading it clear. And now it's back into the Serbian half. And it's going to be Milenkovic of Fiorentina. Launches the ball forward. Oh, and beat the defender, but nobody could read it. Nobody could latch onto it. And Keylor Navas has it back in the Costa Rican goal, away to our left. Now the ball's launched forward from Gamboa on the right-hand side, and the 28-year-old Celtic man. Serbia have an opportunity now. The ball's run loose from Mitrovic, and that's a world-class save from Keylor Navas. Wonderful goalkeeping. Mitrovic latched onto the ball. Navas read it brilliantly, and it's denied him at the death. It remains Costa Rica nil, Serbia nil.
He's got to score. Mitrovic, he works the chance really well. He plays a 1-2. He's put in. He's one-on-one with the goalkeeper. He does nothing. He's got to lift it. He's got to hit it in the corner. He does neither. Big chance for Mitrovic.
Massive chance. Jajic takes the corner. It's cleared away though. Borges, and now it goes all the way back towards the halfway line, and Milivojevic. What an opportunity for Mitrovic. And now here's Tadic on the right-hand touchline. He's playing games with it, but he's had a little bit too arrogant, I think, there, and has lost the ball, and Costa Rica clear it on that far side.
Oh yeah, what a chance. I go back to the chance. It's the best chance of the game. Mitrovic is one-on-one. Mitrovic is on the penalty spot. Navas, the goalkeeper, is just off his line. He's coming out, he's narrowing the angle. He's got to try and lift it, or he's just got to try and play it in the corners. He does neither, but it's a great chance.
And now they're through again. Mitrovic, but he's really threatening here, but it's cleared by Calvo this time. This near touchline. And now Kolarov has the ball. He's going to take the throw in on this near side. Takes it short here for Jajic. Plays it into the penalty area. And Keylor Navas is there again. Safe pair of hands for Costa Rica. I know what you're saying there, John, and I agree 100% about Mitrovic, but has to be said, the keeper's done everything right to narrow the angle and put him off.
But you know that angle we've seen here, Nigel, Navas actually goes down as Mitrovic is sort of almost pulling his leg back to have an attempt on goal. I just think if you're clever there and you're a little bit calmer in them positions, just lift it. I think just lift it over the goalkeeper. And when people watch this at home later on, or you'll be able to see exactly where I'm coming from. It's a great chance.
Milinkovic-Savic now on that right-hand side, but he's been fouled. And I think it's Urena who's committed the foul, so in actual fact, correction, it's Guzman who's made the foul, so will be a free kick to Serbia. 52 minutes into this game now. Costa Rica nil, Serbia nil, live on TalkSport. First of 3 live commentaries today from the FIFA World Cup, Russia 2018. And it's on this near touchline now with Kolarov. Holds the ball up, 2 players around him. He's gone down to the deck and then stands up when he sees the ball coming towards him and plays it forward again here. Serbia moving forward at pace. Jajic is the man, and Matic has put the ball out on this near side via a Costa Rica defender. So it's a throw into Serbia. I think the ball came off Gamboa there, and the ball's taken short here, this time for Tosic for Serbia. Back towards the halfway line. Held up here by Milivojevic, out towards the right-hand side of Ivanovic this time. His record 104th cap today, Serbian record. Congratulations to him. And the ball's back towards the halfway line. But again, John, Serbia very much enjoying the game in terms of the amount of possession they've got.
Well, they've come out on the front foot in the second half.
The ball's whipped in, and it's a header behind goal from Calvo. Ball played in the left-hand side. It was a good quality delivery from Kolarov, and it's away on that far side, cleared that time by Calvo, and it's going to be a Serbian corner with 8 minutes of the second half gone.
Yeah, it's a decent ball in. It's right to the back stick, and all that Milenkovic could do was clear it for a corner.
Jajic is the man who's going to take the corner, and again the referee having words. Not for the first time, players just jostling for positions, manhandling each other in the penalty area. Corner's taken, header that time comes in from Mitrovic, but it's off target, lacks pace as well. He's claiming to the referee that he was fouled there, he was held back. Either way, there were 2 players around him, and it's flashed wide of the right-hand post.
I don't think so. I think it needs to be more contact than that from Duarte. Yeah, he's got his arms, he's blocking a little bit, but nothing untoward in that for me. But it looks like Serbia, they've got a hold of themselves at half-time, almost saying the first half wasn't good enough, we've got away with it. They've come out with a real intent in the second half to start the second half on the front foot. That's exactly what they've done. Should be in front. Mitrovic with the wonderful, glorious opportunity that he wasted.
If you have just joined us though, Costa Rica in that first half had great opportunities with Gonzalez on a couple of occasions, weren't able to take it, and Serbia went on to dominate possession. But it remains Costa Rica 0, Serbia 0, live on TalkSport, and now Serbia charging forward with Mitrovic. Is that a foul? Yes, it is. It's going to be a free kick to Serbia just outside the penalty area, and it's a yellow card as well. So a second booking of the game, and it's Guzman of Portland Timbers. David Guzman is the man who has the yellow card for holding back Mitrovic here and ultimately committing the foul and pulling his shirt back as well.
Yeah, the referee could have given that 5 or 6 seconds actually before Mitrovic went down. I think Calvo was pulling at his shirt for 4 or 5 seconds there before he actually gave the free kick.
Free kick it is then for Serbia in a dangerous position just outside the penalty area, and Navas is organising his defence. Kolarov is over the ball, plays his football for Roma these days, of course, 32 years of age. It's about 10 yards outside the penalty area. Kolarov standing over the ball, left-footed, shoots! Brilliant. Serbia have the lead! Kolarov has got the goal! A perfectly flighted free kick. Keylor Navas had no chance as he dived to his left. It's a perfectly taken strike, and it's Costa Rica 0, Serbia 1 on TalkSport.
Well, they've come out, we said it, they've come out with a total different mindset in this second half. They've dominated from the 45th minute right the way through, and it's a wonderful strike from Kolarov with his left foot on the right hand side, and it's not quite in the top corner. I'm not quite sure whether the goalkeeper could do anything about this. It's hit with a ferocious power. Keeper can't get across. Navas, and it's a brilliant strike from Kolarov to put Serbia 1 up.
Alexander Kolarov with a world-class strike, power and precision and a curve on the ball. Just as Navas went for it, it curved wickedly into the corner of the net. He could not have placed that any better, John.
He almost shows Navas where he's putting it, and a keeper as good as Navas still can't quite get across to stop the shot. He almost tells him, I'm going to go over this wall and I'm going to bend it into that near post. But I don't know whether Navas might think, was I too far across? You know, should I have been more aware that he's going to put it in this near post? Not sure, but still take nothing away from the free kick.
No, it's a world-class
strike.
Yep. Costa Rica 0, Serbia 1 on TalkSport, and huge moment in the game. Serbia have enjoyed so much of their possession, and now they're coming forward again, break into the penalty area, but Navas is off his line that time. But a 30-yard free kick, and it curled just at the right moment for Serbia to take the lead in what has been an entertaining game so far, but now a test of Costa Rica's character, John.
It is, absolutely. Now we see what Costa Rica are all about. They've been quiet, they've hardly strung 3 or 4 passes together in this second half. I've got to say that it's been all Serbia. They were getting on top, weren't they? Look at the Mitrovic chance, they forced a few corners, and then of course we've seen them, you know, taking a 1-goal lead from a brilliant free kick from Kolarov. Let's now see if Costa Rica can show a little bit of mettle and get back in this game.
Yeah, wonderful goal in the Samara Arena, Group E of this FIFA World Cup, and it has taken a world-class strike.
Stupid tackle from Ivanovic, that is.
Yeah, he's going to get a yellow card for that. Mistimed, and Ivanovic is pleading his innocence.
But a player of his experience, 34.
It's the way he points to his chest as if to say, what, me?
And he goes in two-footedly. Look at that.
Doesn't look good on the replay at all, on our monitor in front of us.
It's like that. He shows his studs. That could have been a red card. It really could have. Serbia just took the lead. The players, the Costa Rica player, Venegas, he's not Venegas. He's not going anywhere.
That's right. And Bolaños is the man who has come on now for Costa Rica. Bolaños to replace Venegas. So the first change of the game for Costa Rica.
Are you surprised he made that challenge?
I am, because he's a better player than that.
Experience.
Yeah. So an opportunity then for Bolaños to come on and impress for Costa Rica. And we'll see what he's made of. He did start against Belgium in the 4-1 defeat, but he hasn't started this afternoon. Costa Rica have a free kick now, whipped in from the left-hand side. It's going to fall nicely here towards Urena in the penalty area, and now Serbia are able to bring the ball away on this near side. So a reminder, Ivanovic booked for siding down Venegas, that was his last moment of the game. He's been taken off, but Ivanovic now in the referee's notebook, so he's going to have to be careful from now on. And Costa Rica have the ball now with Borges. Holds it up here towards the halfway line and short for Duarte. Ball out on the right-hand side now for Bolaños, the substitute. Whips the ball in towards the 6-yard area, and Stojkovic is there to deny any opportunity that Brian Ruiz may have had.
Yeah, Brian Ruiz makes a good run. It was almost straight through the penalty spot, looking to get it in. Bolaños, the substitute, just came on, whips in a really good ball with almost his first touch. Goalkeeper comes out, Stojkovic, and smothers it well.
Yeah, Christian Bolaños, who's 34 years of age, has been playing in the MLS for Vancouver Whitecaps. Former Copenhagen player, FC Copenhagen, the Parken, and he's on here today now as a substitute for Costa Rica.
It's nice to see him come on, Nigel, and almost immediately put the ball in the Serbian, in the heart of their defence, if you like. It's almost as if he's been told, look, go on, get some crosses in.
Yes, and bear in mind, of course, if Costa Rica do lose this game, they know they only have 2 games remaining, and one of them will be against Brazil. Good luck with that. Serbia face Switzerland on June the 22nd in Kaliningrad, and then on June the 27th, 10 days from now, Brazil.